Hi everyone. I threatened to put a timeline on my blog yesterday. Instead, I'm going to put this video up. It saves me a bit more time, and it might be a little bit more entertaining for you. None of you have watched or read my blog so far, but still, we're going to go through it anyway. This is all about sort of my contextual studies and what I've been studying. Funny enough. One of the things we were asked to do early on was create a little timeline and list some of the events and some of the things that may have influenced or shaped who we are over the years that we've been living, growing up basically. I was born in 1981. Don't remember much of what happened at that point. I gather I came out of my mother, but that just stands to rumour really. I heard that the President of the United States was, there was an assassination attempt, but that wasn't me, I was too young. And I don't really remember much else until I was probably around about 4, so 1985. I remember putting cornflakes in a video recorder, that was quite good. My mum wasn't best pleased about it, I remember that. I remember having a Superman costume, and I don't still have that. That's a rumour as well. Right, went to school when I was 5, obviously started in Chudley School, which is funny enough in Chudley. One of the things that was interesting about, well, maybe not interesting, but maybe have kind of informed a little bit of who I am growing up, is that I come from a broken home, really. It's not that bad. My mum and dad divorced when I was really young, it's probably about 1, 2, I think, at the oldest. And it's just one of those things you get used to, you know, you go and see your dad every couple of weeks, and, you know, your mum and your stepdad are at home. And it was pretty cool, because I got extra presents at Christmas. That's alright, it's Eddie's phone just going off, you know, he's not a professional cameraman, didn't bother to turn it off. Never mind. One of the things I did kind of, my first childhood memories I kind of spring to mind is going over my dad's and him having a record player. Now this is going back a few years. And he used to play records and stuff. I mean, there were 2 bands he used to play that kind of stuck in, actually 3 that used to stick in my head. Big Country was one, R.E.M. was another, and that was before they turned into like the biggest band in the world for about 5 minutes. And U2, who are still the biggest band in the world, and most people want them dead except me. And this actually was pretty much the first album I actually remember ever hearing. Woo! Yeah! Exciting stuff there. When I was a kid growing up, I used to sort of like really love all the sort of films you do, and anyone that age grows up really, most things that, you know, all the Indiana Jones movies, you know, Raiders of the Lost Ark, Superman, you know, oh god, what else is there? Star Wars, big one. All that sort of stuff. I remember watching Close Encounters at Christmas when I was about 6 years old with my mum, and this is Close Encounters of the Third Kind, Spielberg, not the other one. And I remember sitting by this fire and my mum was crying her eyes out, and all the aliens were like, bye bye, bye, yeah, bye, you know, and that film still makes me blood now, and I don't think it's for any other reason than simply the fact that I want my mum. No, I don't get it, I don't know. We're going to go through this way because the lighting in my house is really bad because I'm a poor student. Can't afford proper lighting. So, let's get it really. You know, I did the usual. Went to primary school. I met my other grandparents, my dad's parents, at around about 8, 9 years old for the second time in my life, and I've got a photo somewhere which I actually brought into class when I was about 3 years old, and I obviously don't remember it, and I didn't remember it when I was 8, so that was quite weird. Went to Birmingham, where they're from, and met them, and that was one of the sort of strangest sort of moments in my life, and that was around about the same time I moved from one school to another. And I was always kind of a weird kid because I always had quite a vivid imagination about things, you know. I had an imaginary best friend. I still have an imaginary best friend because I don't have any friends, so I have to imagine them. But my girlfriend is actually real. That's true, she is real, I can prove it. Yeah, you know, you go to primary school and, you know, you kind of get picked on a little bit. I was kind of very short when I was a kid, I'm still short now, but then even my head was even wider and more angular, and the hair that was coming off of it was something that kind of looks like the Manhattan Project, you know, on somebody's head. So I used to sort of like not have a lot of contact with people outside of school. bit weird. And then I used to live in villages and stuff. I lived in Liverton and Trusham and Bickington, these small villages in the middle of nowhere where there's 3 people living there and a small hen in its late 40s. So I used to watch a lot of films and listen to a lot of music. So, you know, on one hand, you know, I didn't really develop any social skills. On the other hand, I watched a lot of cool things and kind of absorbed a lot of stuff. And I honestly think if I didn't kind of do that at an early age, I may not have the same love for it that I do now.